April 20. I'm glad you could turn me. Grab a coffee and let's get smarter together. Today's subject: how drinking the potent cocktail of standardization and impersonal markets led to the rise of a patriarchy and monotheism. Buckle up, this will be a good one. Standardization has its advantages. What you expect is what you get, mostly. So it eliminates uncertainties, what's great when you have a certain knowledge and want to exploit it. But what exactly do we do when we standardize something? We pick one version of something, let's say a cucumber, and declare that this is exactly how a cucumber must look. At the same time, we exclude any other version of a cucumber that has a different bend, a different diameter, or a different hue of green. Now, let's return to Hover's salamanders. To recap, he conducted a procedure in very early salamander embryos which caused them to multiply their genetic material in each cell. More genetic material inside a cell means that the cell has to get bigger. Their task remained the same though: create a functioning salamander. And they did. But the parts of the salamanders, like the kidney tubule, didn't fit the normal specifications because there was no room for the normal specifications. So the 8 to 10 cells that normally joined to create the wall of such a tubule were sometimes reduced to just one. That happens because evolution very early on figured out that multi-scale systems can't be standardized if you want to survive. Uncertainty is the rule. We need to figure out anything from scratch at any time, not making assumptions. So cucumbers that don't fit the standard really are the champions because they problem solve, also known as they explore. But they are rejected because for our comfort there can only be one standard model. Now add to this new way of thinking that a standard model of everything exists: impersonal markets. They developed against a backdrop of generalized violence, a level to which the fierce competition for retainers and slaves between the major players of heroic societies had ballooned. And they were impersonal because trust created through personal relationships had been replaced by coinage. This meant you could even treat your neighbor like a stranger because a cash transaction simply depends on figuring out how many of X will I get for Y amount of coins. The result was a new way of thinking about human motivation, a radical simplification of motives that made it possible to begin to speak about concepts like profit and advantage, imagining that this was what people are really pursuing in every aspect of existence. It also enabled philosophers to come to the conclusion that numbers, the prices and weights and whatever, are the basis of everything in the universe, including humans. You measure lengths, you measure heights, you measure the price, you measure the heights, you measure the weight. All numbers. Everything is numbers. What meant a human, any living being really, was nothing special after all. Only numbers. Humans are therefore also only things in a way. Gods too. At least in the way that you can apply standards to them, make out one standard model. And everything deviating from this standard model was lesser than. Because the standard is the standard is the standard. It was the new way of thinking preferred and was promoted by the heroic figures because as uber-explorers they cherished the unique. And here they were given a logic at hand why one, the unique, was perfection. And they had learned over millennia of performing and competing against their likes for the spot of the most unique, the most one, that might violence made right. An idea that stemmed from the hunt and the submission of a beast that's closely connected to the idea of exploring and uber-explorers. The hunt was always a male domain. So the standard model of a human became a man. Since woman and everyone else is not a man, they had to be lesser than. And why should someone who was lesser have a say? Equally, how could there be any other God than the one, the standard model? If there was another one, it was either the standard model too, and there was only one standard model, or it was not the standard model, and so another one could not have any say or any power because it was a lesser God, and that couldn't exist. Coming back to the fact, though, that plasticity in life is what makes anything and everything in nature thrive, enables us to problem solve, this only weakens us. So be more. Use what fits the moment. Let go of what does not. Explore. As in honors, think. Make a habit out of thinking as moments, situations change. Let's turn thinking into a movement. Like, comment, share, and follow lest you miss a single opportunity to improve yourself and society. And just like this, coffee break is over. Have anything and everything at the right time rest of the day.